Hello and welcome everyone here to the emergency stream of the Summit 3, where we've got Void Boys going up against NoT today. Very excited to actually see the Void Boys playing, as had some friends on the team. I actually think some of them moved on, but Pat Soul, definitely one of the original members, along with Fly. Looks like Beyond found himself a solid team to play with, and of course NoT today, remaining Smash, Misco, and it looks like a couple other new guys there, but I'm Helium, a voice you probably haven't heard on a Dota 2 stream in a while, and with me is the ever informative Blaze. How's it going?
Doing pretty good, man. I've had 6 games of Dota already today, casting on the other side of the ocean there, doing the EU Dota. But now NA Dota, it's gonna get hot and heavy pretty quickly here. We've already got a pretty active draft in our hands. A lot of spells gonna be flying back and forth, and it's gonna be fun to keep up with the action. But yeah, this is for some really good lineups. I'm not sure about Stinger 03, but everybody else is pretty core to not today's current roster. It's actually interesting. The guy Van is also known as Slarky. And if you remember, that's actually one of the players that knocked us out of Dota 2 Canada Cup. That he was playing the Juggernaut, the game that we got absolutely wrecked. So
What a bastard.
yeah, right.
Juggernaut of all heroes, too.
Right. Seriously, gonna be banned out in phase 2. So I guess they were worried about that being coupled up with Axe Initiation. You just get the drop them low with the Omni Slash and finish it off with the dunks. Thunder God's Wrath definitely helps with that as well. But yeah, we do see here a lot of potential initiators for the side of Void Boys. Skywrath can make things happen with just a slow and a silence, and Bat Rider, he's the hard initiator who wants to lock one single core down. We'll see who that core is shortly, as Van or Ifrit need a major hero to play with. I think Smash is going to run the Zeus mid, but I guess Van's safe lane carry is going to be in question here. Beyond that, Viper, just survivable especially against the Zeus. Like a lot of magic damage flying out. You get a couple of points in corrosive early, and you should be able to survive pretty well.
Yeah, I'm always worried about, you say Bat Rider, what core is he going to be trying to initiate on? But sometimes we see Bat Rider maybe being forced to just initiate on the Vengeful Spirit, since the swap always, not always, but usually tends to shut Bat Riders down pretty hard, or make them think more than a Bat Rider player generally wants to. About who they're going to jump on. But I guess we're going to quickly go through the bans here, since we did get into the draft a little bit late. Shadow Fiend taken out. Sniper, obviously a very popular hero, extremely good with the changes to Headshot, the charges on Shrapnel, which I called that patch change. I think someone somewhere remembers that. Phoenix and Juggernaut taken out, and then NoT today banning out again, a very popular and good hero there, and Troll Warlord, Witch Doctor, Earthshaker, so those supports that are you try to initiate, and then a Witch Doctor or an Earthshaker just shuts it down, turns that gank around. And also Lena being taken out. Where's Lena these days? Is she showing up as a core sort of mid hero, or still support?
Not like 90% mid.
Yeah.
There's a very few times where she will be a support, but for the most part, there is a lot of emphasis on her getting her core items up there. Eul Scepter and Aghanims mostly. Sometimes adding in the Blink Dagger early on. But we're going to be seeing the Storm Spirit here, and this leaves the question whether or not it's actually going to be a support Zeus to go with the Venge. The Venge already brings the control, so if Zeus can bring the damage, all he needs to worry about is getting his levels. Jungling a little bit, finding a kill here or there. He'll get to 6, and that's the key timing. Because Zeus needs his ultimate to negate Blink Daggers, to put those on cooldown, so the initiations for Axe and Storm are a lot easier and cleaner. And then, of course, getting vision for the team so they know when it's safe to take a risky objective.
All right, and we got a nice blue theme. Axe ruining that a little bit, so maybe we'll see a red here. I'll come up for NoT today, as I struggle to remember the names of Dota heroes, as it's been a while. Oh, this is great. Void Boys, though, all right, they're going to go Spectre, so, going in for that late game. A global presence as well. I don't know, it can definitely catch out Vengeful Spirits, stop Zeus from maybe blinking away. Axe is going to have a Blink Dagger as well, so if maybe you're trying to take a fight. Spectre ult, suddenly Axe can't get off what I would say his broken Berserker's Call, that 10-second RP essentially, 5 times in a team fight if he can't really blink in and find a good one.
Yeah. Now, one patch change that hit maybe a little bit later than you're more recent casting. The Culling Blade did get nerfed pretty hard in its damage threshold, so it is still very important that he locks down somebody for the full duration and they get some good follow through for him in order to get those kills. That's going to be ever important on Viper and Spectre because those guys mitigate really hard. Corrosive Skin and Dispersion make it so that it's very difficult to get them down to the chopping block, but once they do, of course, enter the kill threshold from 250 to 400, then that's going to be when they get pretty much insta-give because you can't mitigate death. So, yeah, we'll see. Of course, it's going to be Patzel Spectre, so expect him to pull out some insane item timings with some really good farm. And Skywrath and any support will be doing a good job of keeping him perfectly happy on the top lane against the Axe. The final pickup, though, Naga Siren. Is this going to be a late game versus late game matchup?
I mean, of course, I'll come back to Dota for one game, and this will go 4 hours. Like the what was it, Cloud9 versus that new and sort of upcoming team that was like random letters. I can't quite remember on the spot, but you know what I'm talking about.
Mm.
Oh, it was OD and Purge, I believe, casting that one.
Oh yeah, yeah. 3 hours, too strong. But no, this one, I think that it'll be a pretty big clash of the Titans, maybe around the 30 to 45 minute mark if this game really gets going. But I don't think we're going to be breaking the hour mark unless something goes completely awry. But this is going to be fun. Fly picking up the support Spirit Breaker, man. Spirit Breaker is all the rage in North American and European Dota. I haven't really seen them in China too much. They're much more about resolute tri-lanes. But
that Mag Spirit Breaker, I still remember from when I think it was still Star Ladder 11 at that point. And he picked up a couple games. Like I think it went 9-0 probably like the first 15 minutes, and then the game still became kind of hard. But Spirit Breaker can definitely get it done.
Yeah, it's going to be in the support sense, I think, instead of the offlane. Batrider could technically like 4-position jungle, but it's more likely the Batrider is going to be the offlane. Fly is going to be roaming ganking early, maybe helping Viper against the Storm. I mean, if the Spirit Breaker's level 2 and Viper's like 3 or 4, that Storm should die because Venge and Zeus are really bad at counter roaming. They're not great at like TPing and suddenly changing this skirmish. A magic missile is not that high of an impact spell. It definitely can, but only with very precise timing. Anyways, so if Spirit Breaker gets the early level 2, goes for a gank on mid, kills the Storm off, he's going to have some good momentum. And at a certain point, if he's been stacking well enough, Mercy Please can actually leave the offlane, go to his jungle, and Spirit Breaker will be able to leech experience from bottom. So as long as Fly is kind of dynamic and thinking about where he wants to be on the map, there's a lot of places that he could get to his level 6.
All right, and what do you know? We'll jump right into a pause here as we get in game. But I just want to update everyone. As I said, this is kind of the emergency stream here, as that BTS internet is down. And I see some people in chat saying, why aren't you covering the C9 Empire game? Well, we are. BTS 1 or Beyond the Summit is hosting Waga's stream where Waga is casting it. And I saw that there was a call for needing some admins for that game, but hearing from Call Guy that has been taken care of. So if you want to watch that, either twitch.tv/BeyondTheSummit or Wagamama. Don't know if he has a TV in his Twitch or not, but I'm sure you guys can find it. But here we are into this one. Paused a little bit for now, waiting on one of Void Boys players, it looks like. And I should say, Void Boys recently won CEVO Open. So that was like a couple days ago. They took the money there. So a smaller tournament. Definitely they should have been a main team, which is a higher division over there, but they won it up against Istari.
Yeah, in general, Vobo's has been performing quite well. I mean, they're not like top tier, obviously. They're still a really heavy contest against the new Team Tinker, the Evil Geniuses, but they're just below that threshold where they can still maybe take games off of them if the stars align, and then they can consistently take games away from lesser opponents. So I would say, although they haven't won like any other big tournaments, they're doing really well in all the group stages for Star Ladder, for the Summit, and we'll have to see if they can take this best of 3. It's going to be a pretty close matchup between the two teams, as Not Today is kind of in the same boat. Again, I don't know about Stinger 03. Not Today, their one slot that they've been rotating a ton is their secondary support. And in this case, though Mysticow has been consistent, Stinger is their fill-in / maybe tryout for now.
Ooh, looking at these couriers. The Red Horn, I'm guessing that's from the recent New Bloom. Looking good. All right, let's get these introductions underway. I'll start with Not Today here in their offlane. It's going to be Ifrit on the Axe, and Mist up there for a little while. It looks like he's really just bringing that ward up to put it down, and maybe they find someone, try to get that top rune control, as the bounties are important early on. And going up against this lane, I would reckon Patzol is going to be up there maybe by himself, but I don't know. Fly, I'm going to maybe, okay, Beyond, I guess, is maybe sitting in the top lane along with Fly, sort of supporting Patzol, maybe off towards mid.
It is going to be the Mid-Spectre. Yeah, Patsol's run this a few times. I can't recall like if it has a really good win rate, but they keep using it, so I'm assuming they at least have gotten a few key wins with it. But yeah, Mid-Spectre, no joke, especially when he gets that bottle out at a good time. He can really directly contest, even like a standard mid laner, something more conventional. But against a Naga Siren, who... Yeah,
Riptide seems like it could be annoying. Other than
yeah.
that, it doesn't seem like it's going to be too bad for Patzol.
Yeah, she's not going to be forcing Patzol out of lane, not by herself, but we'll see.
Although maybe
right now,
Zeus just sits in the mid lane for NoT today, and they just try to keep this Spectre back and out of the game for as long as possible. Delay, you know, that Radiance, as you assume that's what a Spectre's going to want to go for in an ideal scenario.
Mystical's going to be dual laning for sure, but I'll just see. Dire did not see Zeus place that, so that's going to be a pretty clean ward here that will be unlikely to be dewarded. But yeah, essentially Zeus is going to be looking for dual lanes here, help out the Axe when he needs it, help out the Naga Siren when she needs it, but look at Omega Poner moving in for the Courier Snipe. This could be key. Looking at the Naga Siren's items, it's extremely clear she went for the Bottle Rush, and Omega walking right through the tree line. The perfect timing. 2 right clicks is what he needs, 2 right clicks is what he will get, and the bottle is in the grave for 2 minutes, and dropping down 700 gold from Smash.
Yeah, I mean, it is still 2 minutes just with a walking courier, but Smash, you know, wanting to spam out mirror images and riptides. You know, he might actually not need a refresher, you know, until that bottle respawns. But of course it hurts.
Omega Poner will stay, and that's the problem. He's going to have 1 Tango left, and he's going to be taking 3 or 4 Arcane Bolts at the least. So Patzol, he's got an easy couple of minutes for himself. In the meantime, we do have some pressure coming in from Ifrit Mystical. Still level 1, but they're willing to do a little bit of creep cutting once the pulls come through to get the easiest CS he can. Bottom lane, a couple magic sticks are up, both for Stinger and for Van, so Mercy Please's Napalm, Harassment, and Spam is not going to do him much good here. He'll mostly just be getting experience with the Boots of Speed.
Void Boys need to update their banner to the updated Faceless Void. It's lacking a little detail right there.
Nice.
I don't know if they were expecting the patch. Maybe it threw them off guard. They're like, that remodel's never coming out, but then it finally did. So looking at the CS overall for now today, Van, 6 last hits there in the bottom lane. Spectre, again, not too bothered. Obviously had a lot of help from Omega Poner on the Skywrath coming over. And now the... oh, that's actually just more Tangos being delivered? Or bottle... Yeah, what came out on that courier for Patzol?
More Tangos. Yeah,
so.
he's just rocking the 4-man shield and a few Tangos, but you said the Riptide Harassment does come into play, and although he's only got 1 more, Patzol wants to know that he's full health whenever there's a possible roaming gank coming in. So that's going to be true here, as he has pretty much all the regen he could need, and maybe he could even forgo the bottle, but I doubt it, because he loves to spam the Spectral Dagger. He's going to get a charge in onto Smash, kind of go maybe for a mirror image dodge, but it's already pretty deep.
Looking for the mirror image. He doesn't get it, though, and Omega Poner was coming up invisible because they got both of those runes there at the 2-minute mark, which is great control here from Void Boys. And Omega Poner, he got the first blood on the courier. He gets it on the heroes as well as he kills Smash. So sending him back a little bit. And top lane is... Beyond's annoyed, but he's okay.
Yeah, he just got the point of corrosive skin, so now Ifrit's taking some return damage from the Battle Hunger, but it is going to be a nearly max Battle Hunger build, at least 2 points in it early, and I was just looking at the way he... Yeah, it's very uncommon, but he was moving around the lane in a very interesting manner. He was intentionally aggroing the creeps, getting spins off so that the Viper couldn't deny, and he was also last hitting pretty nicely, so... just the fact that Viper went for this Boots build, he only has 51 damage plus some potential Nether Toxin, and so far Ifrit's been controlling it so that the Battle Hunger sticks for the full duration. So as long as he can do that, it seems pretty worth it to go for this build.
Yeah, Viper's pretty slow in general anyways. The hero sometimes, I mean, obviously if it was more mobile it would be insane, but sometimes you're playing it feel a little slow. Omega Poner now trying to deal with the Axe. And I guess they probably realize he can't be caught out by Berserker's Call. I mean, the damage that you're taking from Battle Hunger, guessing that you can realize it's rank 2. So Omega Poner can get away with a little bit more here, because Zeus doesn't really have the stun either. So they're trying to chase him down, and I mean, 1 point of Berserker's Call, Omega Poner's probably dead there, but able to scurry off.
Yep. So, I mean, how do you feel about this early game laning phase? Like the first blood, the Courier Snipe, it seems to really favor Void Boys, and I would say that they have some better potential with this Spectre than the Naga. She'll get a spike when she hits the Radiance, and that's going to be the question of who puts the pressure on when. But I don't know if they can get away with this mid Spectre, and so far, as I mentioned, the ganks have worked out pretty well from the supports. How do you feel how this early game is going to play out?
Well, I mean, the early game, I guess if anyone's going to make it exciting, it's probably going to be Fly on the Spirit Breaker or maybe Axe, but I don't know how early we're talking. Once a Blink Dagger comes up on Axe, he can get the ball rolling. Storm Spirit is the most farmed in the game, 27 and 14 down here in this safe lane. So if he gets, maybe an Orchid and starts killing some people, he'll make it exciting, and then it'll come down to Void Boy's counter initiation.
Oh, they're going to go right now. Got the
Charges.
Electric Vortex. Going to get some good right-click damage out, and Spirit Breaker will be taking a tumble. So, boots of speed, sure, but no empowering haste means it's hard to get away from that. On the top lane, Omega Poner taking a lot of lightning damage, but he's got the stick, and he's using it as a baiting tool. So, at least for now, it's going to be just a one-for-one as far as the current kill score, and I actually think it might be a Bloodstone build-up for Van here. He's farming so well that if he gets his Bloodstone out at an insane timing, he's just going to have everything he needs to really snowball forward, kill after kill.
They're still chasing him down up top. The creep wave was coming in close to the tower. They were trying to maybe land some poison attacks there, along with Skywrath damage, but nothing going down up in the top lane. However, some creep skipping here from Van and Stinger means this bottom tower going down rather quickly. We've got the Batrider going all the way back to base, so he can't really help. And now Fly might be in danger once more, but the ultimate for Spectre's going to come out. Fly now having time to charge over onto Stinger. Quickly thinks twice about that decision, trying to move back now to the tier 2, and he will live. And so will the tier 1 tower, actually, still surviving for at least another couple creep waves.
Did you by chance catch the play on mid?
I did not.
The Spectre popped the Haunt, and as soon as he did, we actually saw the Smash pop his Song of the Siren, preventing him from realitying into a fight. This guy's got 3 points in Dagger. He's level 6. Like, he could find some real kills if he gets to reality, but as soon as the Haunt comes out, it's completely prevented. For no reason other than to keep the Spectre locked in place. It's like a TP cancel almost.
Yeah, I wasn't 100% sure if Patsol was just, ulting for information, trying to scare him back a little bit there, but now that makes sense why he didn't show up, because Smash was holding him there with Song of the Siren. And it's kind of cool. I mean, looking at mid heroes, like, I guess Invoker is the one that can sit mid and find kills without really having to move off the lane, right? And in Meta's past, we kind of saw Nature's Prophet in the mid lane sometimes, where he can just TP, find a kill, and go back mid, and Spectre actually falls into that category pretty nicely as well. Fly, though, going to find Stinger. Going to get a little bit of revenge here for being sent back to base. It's going to be Viper Beyond rotating from that top lane. Tired of dealing with the Axe, he'll just go kill the Vengeful Spirit instead.
Yep. Now in a pretty good position, Spirit Breaker is going to have his Inner Shadows and 200 gold, and he's already got level 4. So the next leap is up to level 6. For now, he's got some really good potential with that Greater Bash charging through. So we'll see where he finds himself. For now, Batrider, he's been jungling up with some stacks, and that is actually only 400 gold away from Blink Dagger for him, well ahead of the Axe.
Yeah, just on those brown boots, though, so didn't even stop in for the Tranquils. Wants to get that Blink Dagger up as fast as possible. Axe, meanwhile, does have Tranquils and is trying to run some people down with them, but so far not having too much luck. If they get anyone, it'll be Fly in the top lane.
Okay. What's Beyond doing in mid? The fact that Patsol and Beyond are both here seems to be an inefficiency,
It's
but
definitely inefficient.
I guess they're going for a full rotation. Patsol goes for the top rune, then goes top lane.
All right, let's see what he's going to get. Got that empty bottle. Can he get something good? Something dangerous? Oh, bounty.
That is
Or
dangerous.
it's not bounty, excuse me. Double damage. That's pretty dangerous.
Yeah. So, next Haunt should be a kill, and that's going to give some good momentum. The Spectre Sherry has an assist under her belt, but Fly here going to try to charge away. Lightning Bolt can't cancel it now, buddy. Mystical is going to be the next kill on the board.
And now that double damage is going to be activated. Patsol moving on to Ifrit, and he is dying so fast. I mean, you got the Desolate as well as that double damage coming in, so that's a lot. Now Vaughn trying to bring down Fly, but some wand charge is going to turn it around. Goes for the ultimate, but it is canceled. Patsol still working with the double damage, but Van got the mana shreds, got a soul ring, and a bottle. So a ton of mana to work with there. He ball lightnings out, and as he think about getting even more, he's still here by himself. He really would like to get...
Yeah.
Okay, Zeus is TPing back up, so he's going to be in the vicinity. He's only level 4, though, so there's not going to be any Thunder God's Wrath to support on this. Just 2 in Thunderbolt. One
They
in
don't.
Arc Lightning.
Perfect movement from Mysticow. They don't see him yet. I'm looking at Dire Vision, no vision. Now they see, but it's too late.
Yeah, definitely. Patsol's going to go down, and that haunt was used already, so not going to be able to get out. Didn't have a chance anyways. And Axe doesn't have time for nonsense, Blaze. I don't know if you know these things about Axe.
Well, he certainly doesn't have time to race this Batrider initiation. He needs this last hit on this tower. He's getting close to the Blink Dagger, but he's not there quite yet. Batrider is going to get the jump, and that's the big thing here. Smoke up on Mercy Please, Blink Dagger in hand, and they already have a bit of a kill advantage. I think the kills they've gotten are more impactful. They get them on the more impactful targets than just the Spirit Breaker, and of course, more in number. So let's see where they make this movement. Omega Poner or Mercy Please.
Yeah, and I actually see a smoke coming on not today, but just before we have that engagement, I don't know if we're going to have time. Basically, just want to point out Vaughn leading the CS and the net worth. Naga in second place there as we'll flip over at that 10-minute mark, but they're going for the kill. Swap here onto Beyond. Does have 3 points in Corrosive Skin. How long can he stay alive? He can stay alive the entire time because he just walks right out of it. Now Mercy Please unveils that Blink Dagger, and Storm able to get out of here, but guess what? There's a cowbell on top of your head, and the cow is coming in, but from what direction? Actually, from the east there.
Oh, the song!
And the song immediately from Smash.
Smash. That is exactly what you need. Reset the fight.
He's got the mana.
Magic Missile out. Batrider Blink does get it off, and Stinger's going to go down quickly.
He had the mana. I thought he was going to hit a 3-person Riptide, but it actually really backfires as he stays in and as a core Naga Siren. He falls right there alongside him, the Vengeful Spirit dropping. So 2 down for not today in that engagement.
Blink Dagger is so good against the Song of the Siren initiation, and in this case, the Storm doesn't go down, so Van is still as high as you were talking him up to be, but Naga is just taken down a peg. Using the Song of the Siren again, this is a critical cooldown, and more we're going to be seeing him regretting not having it available. So he's going to try to keep farming. Axe does get that initiation tool, and I think he should buddy up with the Storm pretty quickly. They have the most kill potential between the two, but it looks like, at least for now, they're just jungling up with the Zeus.
Yep, and Beyond showing us why he put points in Corrosive Skin. Without that, he might have just went down first there.
Yeah, he's also going the mech build, so a lot of effective HP once that Corrosive is maxed and the first key item is picked up.
All right, let's take a look at the wards here as we get to that 11-minute mark. Dire have one down here in the enemy jungle. All across mid lane, though, it's looking for control. 2 wards down there from Not Today. And do I see anywhere else? Oh, there's a Dire one there across the way. And mid also. Worried about those Storm. I mean, obviously you got to watch out for the charges coming up through the mid lane. You got to worry about the Blink Dagger locations from both Axe and from Batrider and Storm jumping and swap. So mid vision very important here. A little bit of a dodge there is Smash with that mirror image, but the lasso coming up now, and well, 4-on-1.
Still goes though.
Technically 4-on-4 with these illusions here. Vaughn though going in for Omega Poner. And he will get him, but he's pretty far in here. He's got some bottles charges to work with. The charge, though, from Fly coming back in. Going to keep Vaughn locked in. Earn charge and this poison. Even with the ball, he might still go down on the other side. No, he will live, bottling up through that now. Another stun onto Mercy Please. Void Boys going to lose their Batrider, and they've actually lost 2 already. Still trying to fight, though. Stinger running away now. The ultimate coming in from Spectre. Stinger's going to go down, trying to still find Vaughn, though, as Stinger actually swapped him out on an ally, or I'm not sure, but he was trying to get out of there. Patsol finds a double kill off of that haunt. And, oh, that was a near dodge for Storm Spirit. That concussive shot doesn't do much damage, but at that point it could maybe have been enough. And as the dust settles, that was costly for Not Today. They lost 4, Void Boys only dropping 2.
Yeah, that fight recap is very telling of what we were uncertain about, how this early game is really going to pan out, who's going to get the initiation, where those ganks are going to come from. But we're seeing, although the Axe gets a jump, the Batrider gets involved, and that Spectre ulti was really just the cleanup that they needed. So now we see Spirit Breaker jumping up almost 1,200 experience in that fight. We were just talking about him being level 4, level 5. Suddenly Fly is level 8, almost 9 with the treads. He survived through that entire fight and got to charge and ulti multiple times.
Beyond, oh my gosh, it's still not quite able to kill him. They initiate with a big storm jump. Ultimate's there from Zeus, trying to get Omega Poner, but they can't. Now Fly is there. Oh. There's a swap, though. Sting puts himself in danger. He's not able to save Vaughn, that Storm Spirit, who is down for the count. Patsol, oh, you know what? I'll take another kill. I'm dominating right now. His Radiance is going to be on the way. It's going to be terrifying. Both of them lose 2 right here, but Spectre surviving. 5-1 and 5 already.
Yeah, very involved game for Patzel, and just getting really hyped really quickly. It's not really leaving much time for Smash to farm. Actually, neither one of them breaking 57 CS, so that's kind of consequential for them. It's going to be actually a missed ultimate coming from Mega Opponent, but he has to stay pretty far back. Now we're going to see just a Flame Break, Napalm play. Ifrit taking a lot of hits. The Blink Dagger still on cooldown. Magic Stick keeps him up for now, but he's still in full retreat. Stinger has Swap available again. Really utilizing this cooldown back to back, but it's going to be Storm to jump in.
Yeah, it's been a busy game here since about the 10-minute mark. All this fighting in mid, which kind of showed us why all the wards were there for both teams in the first place. Another Haunt, though, going to go out. Patzel really wants to kill Axe, and honestly, who doesn't want to kill an Axe? Charge coming in, though. This is Fly onto Vaughn here. Is he going to be able to dodge this? He's running out of mana. Where is this charge from? Almost all the way from base. Finally, he's getting there now. Void Boys, though, this is a costly dive here. They've lost 3. They've only got 2. Now Fly about to fall as well, so Void Boys giving up 4 kills here, and this time Beyond is one of them, and they get greedy trying to chase down the very low Axe and Storm, and amazing plays here from this Vengeful Spirit.
And that's a huge experience swing the other way. Not a bad amount of gold either, but the big thing in my mind is experience. The only hero that didn't die was the level 6 Skywrath. Everybody else is, well, three of the 4 were above level 9, so in this position you get 1100 experience on your Storm, your Naga, your Venge, and suddenly they're that much more deadly. I mean, it's going to be soon an Orchid Storm past level 11, a lot of damage from that Ball Lightning, and then Naga's built up to her second point in Song of the Siren and is only going to be 1,000 gold away from Sacred Relic.
Yeah, let's look at the gold pulled up here.
Oh, smoke.
20.
Jeez.
Yeah, another smoke. This game is not.
The party doesn't stop.
Yeah, seriously. If it goes late, it was still a pretty exciting early game. It wasn't like it was slow and drawn out. Smash at 2,800 though, and it was like 2,100 as I missed this fight in the middle. Okay, Beyond goes down. Can't click on the minimap apparently. But 2,200 on the Spectre. So I mean, both of them in the race, the space race, I guess, to that Radiance.
Yeah, well, we'll see who can create the space more. Will it be the Space Cow or, Thunder God? I don't know. But Yules, I guess, is going to be the item of choice for Zeus. Going back to that Storm build, you were talking about the Orchid. It seems that is going to be the case, but he might be picked off here. Silence first. Now they'll be able to lasso him easily, and they've got a lot of damage coming in with Fly. Don't even need it. Oh, okay. So they just pop the Mystic Flare to make sure of it, and Fly keeps his entire mana pool in reserve.
Yeah, big kill there. And let's see what items. Well, he actually did go for Oblivion Staff, so it will just be, as usual, going for that Soul Ring now since it's not really new news anymore. And then, of course, the Oblivion Staff working towards the Orchids. But at 17 minutes, I mean, what? I'm guessing like 18 minutes is probably the average time if you go for the Soul Ring and try to pick up that Orchid.
Yeah, I don't see why not. Or maybe a little bit later if you
like
include
18,
the Soul
20,
Ring.
I guess, yeah.
Yeah. But it's not going to be fast enough to deal with the mechanism. Beyond's not going to be an easy kill target any longer. I mean, like, how much chain stun would they have to bring on Beyond to actually prevent the mechanism in the fights here? Like, the call right now is at 2.4 seconds with 2 points in it. But, I mean, they would have to Vortex, Magic Missile, Berserker's Call, and commit all their damage to him to make sure the mech doesn't come out. That's actually going to be a very impactful item as we see fights breaking out nonstop.
Yeah, probably. Now that we've said that, they'll probably like never fight again. But I almost find that hard to believe with the hero like.
Well, let's check on
Spiritbreaker.
Smokes of the Sea because I feel like that's been setting up a
There's been
lot
a lot
of these games
used.
here. So there is in 2.5 minutes we're going to see the next smoke come out for not today.
And 1 for Void Boys.
Yeah, so they still have some options open to them, but maybe they want to make sure that it's available for Roche if they need it. We'll see.
And again, we see all those wards positioned around the middle lane. Only 1 there for the Dire, and we see an inkling of wanting to get aggressive by this Not Today ward. Pretty far out of the jungle, and as I say that, Fly starts pinging it out immediately, so they're pretty aware that it's there. Do they have sentries, though? Obviously Not Today themselves have a Zeus, and actually there are sentries here on Fly, so I'd expect them to want to get there and get rid of that ward.
Yeah.
And
So I'm
perfect.
curious if Void Boys will pressure the Radiant jungle at all. They know Smash is going to have a Radiance pretty soon, and what a lot of teams in Eastern Hemisphere have been doing is actually, as soon as they see the Nagasai Radiance about to come out, just ward the heck out of that jungle, like buy 6 or 8 sentry wards, and just negate every single creep camp there. It almost would force Zeus to be on full anti-ward duty with the Lightning Bolt, but no, in this case it looks like the Radiance is going to be coming up in no time at all, and Void Boys are playing fairly passively.
Yeah, speaking of that jungle, almost all of NoT today is in their jungle right now. Exceptions being Zeus and Axe. Same thing pretty much goes for Void Boys, though. Trying to find farm without really wanting to fight. Because, I mean, what are the next items that we want to see? We saw the fighting when the Blink Daggers came online, and actually might see some more as they smoke up Mercy Please and Omega
Very
Poner.
close to the Observer Ward. That shouldn't even be here. But yeah, there's a deep Observer Ward that nearly saw the smoke, but it didn't. And that's the key thing. If you don't see the heroes that are smoked, you don't see the animation. So even though the bubble went past it, for us, it didn't for them. They get the ward, they take out the camps, just like we were talking about, against that Naga Radiance, and maybe they'll also find a kill with it, as the lasso plus Mystic Flare combo is pretty deadly.
Oh, there you go. There's the target. It's going to be Vaughn, and they'll get him. Going to hold him in place there. Yeah, everything. Boom, easy. Looks like paper when you bring him down that fast. Well, there you have it. That's their pickoff, though. I guess, you know, that buys enough space. They now know Beyond is pretty safe without the big initiator being the Storm Spirit, so they maybe will just push bottom. They got 4 heroes down here.
Yeah. Spectre is going to be sending out the core to the Secret Shop, so this looks like it's a Radiance race. And although Naga will win the race, it's true that Patzel has more behind him. And like he has actually more items with the Ring of Aquila that ties them, but then the Magic Wand and upgraded boots that gives them the advantage.
That binds them. I don't know. Tower goes down. TP's, though, coming in before it collapsed. Fly's going to go ahead and just charge on out of there. Vaughn, though, is going to be chasing up the squishy support. Skywrath down. Now looking for the kill onto Pat's Soul. Orchid was already used. 17 wand charges and a bottle, which means Pat's Soul to go down. But he was able to buy that Sacred Relic beforehand. So a big rotation for NoT today. It does pay off.
Yeah, most he lost, like... Oh, it says he lost 389 gold, so I guess he farmed pretty well in the moments that we...
Did he last at that tower?
Not sure.
I don't think I can see. Oh, and Storm actually bobbed back into the game.
No, Dire just killed the tower in general, so he got some gold. I believe that's reliable, though, so he must have farmed some creeps before that. Anywho, Beyond looking pretty good right now, going for the Ogre Club, so the Aghanim Scepter is going to be his item of choice, and they just need to make sure that Omega Poner keeps getting this insanely good lockdowns on the Storm for them to connect that spell on their target of choice. The Mirror Image from Smash can dodge the Viper Strike, and so can the Ball Lightning. So they need to silence the target who is going to get Viper Struck, otherwise there's a good chance it doesn't connect. Blink Daggers, stuff like that, also an issue. Yule's even for Mystic House. So yeah, I'd have to say, everybody that you're targeting, you have to make sure you're very precise, or that is a wasted cooldown.
Yeah, and worth noting, I don't know if we called it in the fight, but Storm bopped back there as he had been ganked up in the jungle, bopped back for that fight, but very well worth it because he bopped back, and then after that fight ended, he had like 1,300 gold as he got all the kills. So, you know, well fought there. Obviously, buying back can be a bit of a risk economic-wise. At this point in the game, obviously later in the game, you know, like when they're 3 hours long, that timer is important, but... Where do you go? Oh, look at that. Bounty into an Invis. Smash going to pick up that one. Invis and Haste, but at this point, Smash is not trying to smash anybody. He might go up top and help out, though. He's going to come in. Can he just use the Song of the Siren immediately? Nice Vaughn back. Will still fall, and he's going to have a long respawn time, about a minute there. And Effort now caught up here. Beyond just trying to stay up. Smashes Invis. Oh. He's got Song to get anyone out of here. Beyond is turning this. Patsol's coming in as well. And Patsol, that's $1,800. Going to be able to finish up.
There's a Central Ward on Spirit Breaker. This charge is going to connect, and he's going to get the detection too. The Song is available, but the silence is there.
Oh no! And he's able to drop that sentry immediately. And what patch was that? I think that was the most recent patch, a couple months ago or a month ago. The cast point on that Song of the Siren increased.
Yeah, it was not. I think it was the core patch 6.83. So
could have made
if
a
that's
difference.
The case, then yeah, definitely a difference there. But. Yeah, just couldn't react in time. Goes down, and that's a huge kill. Suddenly, Radiance on Spectre and a net worth advantage. Now, it's hard to really put the full value of these Radiances in comparison. When you look at a Naga Siren, especially when she was in her prime, this is a hero that when her back is against the wall, when you've taken their tier 3 and are destroying their racks, if their racks haven't been beaten down fully, she can turn a fight in her own base. At the midnight hour. But then the bigger aspect of it is how she spreads her illusions across the map, pushing out the lanes, just ignoring heroes completely and making sure the creep waves die so they can't even get close to the tier 3s or tier 2s. But that'll get her farm. But as far as winning fights, that's still on the team as a whole. Not today. they need to make sure they initiate well and they play it well because they're up against some really deadly mid to late game heroes. And Patzel, he's going to use that Radiance to fight. He's going to use the Haunt. He's going to make sure Radiance is on everyone. And then he is just going to be tearing through people. He's a tough individual to bring down because of dispersion. And with his ultimate, he puts out a lot of DPS. So I think that the two Radiances kind of have different reasoning behind them, different mentalities.
Yeah, for sure.
And it's key to make that distinction.
Yep, Naga obviously going to outfarm with the illusions on it. Spectre maybe a little more potent in the fights with it. We'll see how that plays out over the next, I don't know, what do we want to give this next phase of the game? Like 15 minutes up until maybe the 40-minute mark when we get there? Then we're in that late game with both the Spectre and a Naga?
Yeah, I think cheese roast probably. Like I wouldn't even bring it to game time. I'm talking like whenever the third roast goes down, that's when we're talking late game pushes. But
We haven't even seen a first.
Yeah, exactly. And that's just it's something where they haven't really emphasized physical damage. But Omeo,
Ooh!
did that Thunder God's Wrath even hit? It did, right? Yeah.
Yeah, I believe it did, and that silence, or the sleep rather, went off right away. Omega Poner down immediately. He's the one they focus on because he was just that close. Ifrit, though, going to fall on the axe, and now Beyond getting involved here, taking down these supports, and he is so hard to kill. Maxed out Dispersion, and as the numbers fall and the allies get separated, Desolate for Patsoul is going to hurt so much. Double kill there for Fly. He's 7-4-10, man. Look at this guy's KDA on a hero that generally just goes in on suicide missions.
Yeah. It's just Void Boys right now are built for fighting. They have the BKB on Spirit Breaker. They have the Force Staff for Bout Rider, which allows them to pull people out of position. Mechanism on Viper and Radiance on Spectre. These are fighting tools. On the other hand, not today. Van's got his Orchid. That's a pick-off tool. Axe and is really their only team fight initiator. Everybody else is about farming, picking off, and surviving. And in this case, it's just not enough on the survival side because Void Boys just tore them apart there. Really good fight. But I think there is some pressure for them to keep that up because right now they've only taken 2 towers and Naga is just going to make things very difficult to push in long term.
All right, trying to bring down that tier 1 in the mid lane. Fly going to go in once more, but this time Ifrit's going to show up. And if he can survive this engagement, that Axe is going to have a BKB of his own. Tower goes down. Spirit Breaker to move out. Vaughn, though, going in far. Nice defensive force staff there on Omega Poner. Gets him very far away from that vortex of that Storm Spirit. And Beyond pops his BKB to turn things around. He brings down Stinger. And Charge of Darkness, short cooldown Fly. Can he find a target? Does he want to find a target? I don't think so. They'll all back off.
Yep, so I did have to use his BKB there, which is a little unfortunate. 9 seconds is still a very considerable resource to exhaust, but he did just want to get away without feeding the Storm Spirit, and that was the cleanest way to do so. Now we're going to come down to pretty critical timing for Van. He's about to pick up his Bloodstone. He's got get the energy booster, the recipe, and then he will have Bloodstone with the default charges. The question is whether he dies shortly after picking that item up or if he's actually able to build up those charges, get greater mana regen, get the super heal in combat, and most importantly, the quick respawn. Because if he can get a respawn that's even just reduced in half, it gives so much potential for them to, even if they lose a fight or if he gets picked off, him to come back swinging out of the fountain.
See a big invade here. Maybe not a big invade, but they are moving into the Radiant Jungle. And that's a perfect point there, Blaze. Again, the Magic Bush Ward to block out these two camps. Trying to just limit any way possible the farm of the Naga with that Radiance. Maybe keep it in check with the Spectre, who has, I think, proved to be fighting better with the Radiance already. It's, what, a 9-kill lead right now for Void Boys. And I'll go into the graphs right now. It was a pretty... I don't know, it was a bumpy road, but it wasn't getting out of line for either team. But now Void Boys with the, 7,000 gold advantage here finally. Maybe, what is this, 8 to 9,000 experience there for Void Boys. So definitely with a definitive lead here for the Dire Squad.
So, if you just look at the KDA, straightforward, I mean, the Spectre has 9, 3, and 11. The Naga Siren only 1, 5, and 8. She's not able to contribute to that level, but... she is a bit of an escape artist. The only thing that's really going to stop her if she's able to get the Song of the Siren off and TP out is a Batrider Flame Break. Everything else, as far as I can tell, is going to stick, is going to not be able to cancel the TP. She's going to get caught inside the Song of the Siren, even a Spirit Breaker charge, and they can't get out. But if they catch her before the song, that's a different story. Jumping in, Mercy Please, looking for it, onto Smash, but his vision is just outside.
Yep. Where's that?
They need the Skywrath there anyways, right? Because like the Skywrath is all the way back here, and they need the silence follow through.
We're gonna see some anti Tinker Batrider awards coming out if Mercy Please starts getting these tree line initiations online. Or you know, there's always that Zeus is like, where the hell is everybody? I'll just ultimate.
You can't hide from heaven.
Or run.
No.
Or
running is
other
not an
things.
option. Never was an option. But
Yeah.
well, we'll see. Mercy Please right now is going to at least get some good push on bottom. That means that people have to go back and defend the tier 2s. Maybe this illusion is making its way there now. Not the best duration, 20 seconds remaining, but we're going to see the Honda top.
Misko's like, yo, this is going south quick. I'm out. He TPs. Ifrit trying to do the same thing, but he's getting bashed all over the place by Fly. They've caught Vaughn in a flaming lasso. What else? They'll bring him down. It's a 2-for-1. Beyond and the Viper is the one to go down on Void Boys, but XP change about 1,000 more for them. So it ain't too bad. About 800 net worth and gold as well, going the way of Void Boys as that charge of darkness changes quick directions because of the TP out. And at what point do we look at Roshan as an option for one of these teams?
I'm curious as well, because you have to be a little bit afraid of the Song of Siren to invade the pit, but the Batrider jumping in with his Firefly and Blink makes that very perilous as well. I mean, if somebody can actually get a ward up on this cliff by the Dire Ancients, then maybe they'll feel more secure about it. But as it stands, it's just like that's a blind spot for both sides, and I definitely think that it's not going to be fast enough for either one to feel uncontested in it. Another interesting thing with that charge, though, is that both wards were pinged out that were involved in that exchange. Spirit Breaker, charge based on the vision provided by this ward, they pinged that out almost exactly. And then as soon as the back came out from the Vengeful Spirit, they pinged out the ward that was just freshly placed on the high ground. So we'll see if those D wards do indeed come out, or if they just keep that intel in mind. But Mercy Please has the gem, so it suggests the former.
Fly's been doing a pretty good job at getting these down earlier on. I'm not sure. Obviously, like you said, Omega Pona purchases up that gem, hands it over to Mercy Please, but Fly was doing a great job of getting the sentries earlier because, I mean, the theme for Not Today has been these aggressive wards for a while. Some of them were taken out, and earlier on, we had that one up here that almost caught that smoke. I mean, feels like a while ago now, maybe like 10, 15 minutes, but they've had wards across the river for a long time is the point that's trying to be made here. And honestly, same thing goes for Void Boys. Pretty deep there in the jungle and also in that top lane.
Do you see what Spirit Breaker's building? Oh, I'm so happy about
this.
this.
Oh, heck yeah.
Oh, I am actually really happy about this.
Full screen Nether Strikes.
Nether Strike is just an incredible ability. And when you get the Aghanim Scepter on it, it's ridiculous. You get AoE factor. Anything within a small radius is going to get bashed there. It's 250. So really,
so
not going to split. Goodbye. But it does have an increased range, 150 increased. And the best part, in my opinion, is the 20-second cooldown. Like, you're going to use that twice in a fight, and you're going to be loving it.
Yeah, for sure. Especially with still an 8-second BKB charge. And I'm not sure. It's just game sense here from Not Today as Ifrit escapes that 5-man gank that was coming for him. Then the Zeus ult came out a couple seconds afterward, and he's like, well, I was right. Glad I rotated off that bottom lane to go farm mid, while the rest of Not Today pushes up top. Void Boys goes bottom. Will we maybe not see a fight and instead a trade of towers? But I think maybe not, as Smash is still here, and if he can find a Song of the Siren, that'll give his team time to TP back to any of these towers they choose to defend.
Yeah, I mean, it's easy for Van to split bush right now, but they can only do so when the Zeus ulti has been used within the past like 30 seconds or so. After about 15 to 20 seconds of using that ultimate, that's the time where Void Boys is most likely to try to go for a smoke play or try to go for something where they catch you off guard, because they say, okay, now you can't scout us with Zeus vision, and you have to be a lot more wary in that time period. But we're going to see, yeah, the Yules is up for him, probably 4-staff next. Storm, he's got Bloodstone, he's got Orchid. These are the bread and butter items you expect. But he's going to go on Patsoul, so we'll talk about progression later.
Patsoul does not have nearly enough damage to bring him down, even with the soul burn going off afterwards. Patsoul just about a little below half HP. I mean, decent damage,
opportunity
but
because
not
the
enough.
mantle was on cooldown, but I mean, it doesn't seem to matter too much to Patsoul.
So that's, I don't know. I mean, if I'm Storm, I don't want to try to go solo on anybody. Like, this is not a pub where you're just going to pick people off as Storm. There's real counter-initiation threats on Void Boys.
But long term,
speaking of initiation, Batrider blinking in, forcing out, fly on the charge. Stinger, will he go down? He's still silenced. Positive or in charge coming his way. Now Miskow trying to fight for his team. Oh, and a nice sleep coming in. That's going to shut down the Spectre ultimate. Maybe not shut it down, though, because still with the Radiance burn. Or maybe Patzel was actually just chasing Stinger. Either way, Venge goes down, and that aggression was a little bit costly for Void Boys, as they will lose 2.
Yeah, so the song comes out. I mean, it's really good to disrupt that Haunt ultimate, to put the illusions to sleep, and obviously everybody else following through with that. But what do you do after that? Do you kind of try to use Ifrit as your black hole and just taunt the second the song ends? If they have everybody alive and Thunder God's Wrath available, that's probably a good option. But right now they just seem outgunned. Like, we've talked about it a couple times, Naga Siren is farming faster. She's catching up and reducing the net worth gap that Spectre has maintained this entire game. But they don't fight that well right now. And I'm curious what item it's going to take for them to actually feel like they're at that level. Does Zeus need to start contributing real damage with like an Aghanims after his Force Staff? Does Storm have to have a Sheepstick or a Shivas to get to that level? I don't know.
Yeah, they could use a bit more. We've got, what, Manta, Travel, Radiance up on the Naga Siren, but honestly, we've never really seen the Naga Siren split pushing anything just because it's so dangerous against both Bat and Spirit Breaker. I guess they've got they can always try to bait Smash, you know, push him up a lane, have the team behind him smoked, or even not smoked, just, you know, be careful not to walk past wards. We haven't seen much of that, though. It's been in the jungle and kind of poised here on the bottom lane behind this tier 2, just farming and pushing out the wave. And actually, how many times has Smash gone down? He was mid lane. He went down a couple times. About 1, 5, and 9. Compare that to the KDA of Spectre, his competition in the carry department. 11, 3, and 12. But the net worth? Only like 1,000 gold off.
What a jump from Van. Whoa,
lead.
that was ambitious. He just exhausted his entire mana pool to get in, and yeah, the end result is you're going to get killed. Now we get the lasso and the charge into Miskow. He's down as well. Yules are not, and that was just a really big jump.
Rip Blue Mario. You're done.
So that's 2 charges down for the Storm. He's down to 6 charges from his default 8. And it looks like he's going for the Lincoln Sphere to prevent what we just saw, but even then, that was a lot of mana spent for a kill that, in my mind, couldn't happen. But
yeah,
obviously they thought differently.
I mean, they haven't been able to do much, so maybe they're just a little frustrated, you know? They wanted to try to make a play, just took a risk, you know? We'll say it was calculated. But didn't work out. Now he's doing the same thing, but this time it looks like it will be successful, and the Soul Burn's going to bring him down as Van walks away. Cool guys, don't look at the hero you're about to kill.
Yeah, but I got to say, like, that jump that they made on Spectre, that attempt at least, is essentially their last chance to bring him down, because he just finished a Heart of Tarrasque. Straight Heart of Tarrasque. No casual hit boosters for me. And at this point, Dispersion plus Heart, you're going to be hurting yourself so much.
They already can't kill him, and now he does so much damage back with that health pool. Woo! And still 8-second BKB on Beyond with that mech and a Vit booster, so I guess, what, tanky? They're realizing there's a lack of real damage here, so they're like, let's just get hearts. Like, we won't die.
Yeah, exactly, and it's too true. Like, I was trying to think about how things play out in the late game when everybody's 6 and 7 slotted, but you know, maybe Naga gets Butterfly Daedalus, and she's actually doing real damage, but we're so far away from that.
Yeah,
Until that point, like, Storm is your damage dealer, and he's got a nice mix of items, but it's not like snowballing Storm. He's still 3k above the Viper, but 3k or 4k below the Spectre. So he's going to go in, a giant jump again, but it's just to neutrals.
Just not neutrals.
He's really either fishing for kills or exploiting the fact that he has a lot of mana regen. Either way.
Yeah, actually, I suppose like that's a pretty common camp to just find someone at. So maybe he was fishing for someone, just trying to find some extra CS. But hey, he got some of his own. And another item I wanted to bring up here, the red man picks up somewhat of a blue item. He gets the Shiva's Guard, so there's, I guess, some damage output mitigation, or mitigates a little bit of Void Boy's damage output. But even still, I'm a little scared for Not Today's lives.
Yeah, but the Shivas definitely is something that they needed. It's going to help them quite a bit, but
okay, I was to say, they didn't bring the damage dealer, which is actually the support Skywrath, and hey, he shows up in the nick of time, and they'll get a nice pick off there on the Axe. Dead for a minute.
What's taking him fly so long on this Axe? I feel like he's been at this level of farm for 5 minutes now, but
Yeah, I'm not
Cool.
sure. I don't know if he was started supporting or buying some stuff, so Omega Poner could get a Force or a Yules or what.
Well, Storm did recently kill a Spirit Breaker, and that's about it, I guess.
Oh gosh, Storm.
BKB Force,
Ooh!
that's perfectly worth it. Yeah, just going for those crazy plays and being like, oh, man, I'm threatening you. It's the intimidation factor beyond
Did they want?
doesn't.
It looks like they really want to fight off of this. They're going to force out another BKB, but can they retreat off of this? Because Fly can still fight even though that song goes out, and that's going to be
Radiance?
pure
Oh.
defensive. Oh man, Venge and Axe are down, and now there is no song for 60 seconds. BKB's coming up in just under that time for Void Boys. Do they have an opportunity to push here? I mean, probably get a tier 2, I would think.
Mm-hmm.
And
I
maybe
mean, the
even
Creep
not
going to
with
be
Glyph.
absolutely destroyed by the Radiance Riptide, and there's going to be a Storm just going past. Did he TP with it? Yes, he did.
Yeah, he did. And
And
if he guessed right, he could have got Omega Poner, actually, but went right past him.
I think it did the damage, and I think that it just brought him to that.
Oh, I was pretty... I didn't even notice. I have the little
Because
white
oh,
bars.
even closer, but Tranquil Boots and Force Staff, they've got some HP regen involved. And a regen rune! He finds the regen rune at the perfect time! Storm Spirit again out of mana.
Yeah, that was pretty lucky there. Finding the regen and Storm running out of mana, both of those happening at the
Just
perfect
rune, why
time.
not? Oh boy, this is fun time for him. Now, will he see the Lincoln Sphere, or will he even be able to walk up the cliff with the safety mine of the Static Remnant? Okay. So he will make his move up that way, and Mysticow, he's got Lightning Bolt. Times it trying to either scout wards, or maybe he was actually aware of the Invis, but in either case, it's going to be Omega Poner lurking, and they see a couple people on the map.
There it is, Blaze. The Scepter
Good times,
upgrade.
man.
The ultimate ultimates. The Nether Strikes with the AoE, with the extra range. Oh, Mistcow, though, in some
That's a
trouble.
pretty easy swap, honestly. They saw
Yeah.
the Venge, and they still went for that play. I think that was kind of a mistake. But
And
Omega Poner will go down to Van. Mercy Please. BKBing so many BKBs just used in retreat. This is actually, I think, like
The
past
third?
BKBs. Maybe. I think there's been 2 on the Spirit Breaker.
Viper used one. Spirit Breaker used one.
But he used 2.
Oh, he used 2. Okay, so you're saying 4.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
saying
I think you're right.
twice, but yeah. It's just that they want to use them in the fights. They want to use them while they're hot, and they want to be able to really benefit from that. But so far, not so good. Axe is going to get a little bit more HP to work with here. The Radiance isn't going to cause him as many issues. I don't think he turns that into like a Vanguard Crimson. I think that is going to be a heart long term, and that's going to fix all of his survivability issues.
And what is... All right, still 7 seconds. That's like the last good charge.
Yeah.
And that's about what everyone is at here. What's Batrider? Batrider's at 8. Check over to the other team. Zeus has done a pretty good job now with his more mobility items. The Force Staff and the Yule Scepter keep him up in the fights a bit longer. But it's the Axe BKB there is 8 seconds. So everyone 8 and 7. That's what we got working right now.
So, talking late game, Spectre gets her heart now, her Radiance and Manta Style. Her next item should be offensive. So she's going to look at maybe Butterfly here. And, I mean, there was Defusal 2 is really good. Defusal 1's but Defusal 2 is really good. And she's going to go for a Refresher, just say screw it. I don't do the most damage, but as long as I double the uptime of my illusions, it's going to be amping it. So it's more damage over time, and that's a key factor there. It also
keep Zeus out the fight.
It also could prevent some of those song shenanigans where it's like, oh, Song of the Siren on one of the haunts, and then everybody can walk away from the Radiance. But if you have 2 haunts and 1 song, then suddenly you break that equation in half.
All right, there we go. Double damage rune going to start things off. Get this game moving on as the first Roshan is going to fall here. Heart gets delivered to Beyond as well, so the Heart comes out. First Roshan to fall, and maybe with this Aegis, they won't be as scared to push into these tier 2s because they've been standing for a long time right now. And actually, it looks like the Naga, finally getting off the map a little bit more. So the Illusion's way up mid, way up top. Mid tier 2 has fallen for Void Boys, so they are actually down a tower. And my God, is this Rosh slow? This is why we have not seen a Rosh yet this game from either team.
Vengeful Spirit is like the only person that actually does Rosh this game.
Pretty much.
Yeah, she's got the Wave of Terror, but in this case, Thunder God's Wrath is just a little late. Maybe they thought Spirit Breaker could be charging out of the pit, and they could also, there's possibility of smoking right when Rosh falls to make the offensive play, but...
Oh my gosh! The chances! Fly is just going up top, charging a creep wave, and he crosses paths perfectly. The ultimate comes out in time. Misco, he's got a Force Staff available to him. That was it, but still bashed up, and he will fall. And that is unlucky stuff right there from
And
Zeus.
Mercy, please, scouts out here for the gem real quick, for the ward that
Yeah,
Zeus
they
must have been
know is
placing,
there.
and now they will find the other one, so the other possible location. And cleared out. Easy gem usage. Just taking out a number of wards here. But Storm again! Is he TPing? No, he's going for the kill. And he looks like he will get it, even with the BKB. One more right click is what he needs with the illusion.
The illusion.
The illusion rune gets the kill. Oh, that's a new one.
It really is. That was, yeah, I saw the attack. I'm like, that didn't look like it came from Storm. Noticed the illusions. I was like, wow, that's actually was enough right there. I mean, I guess.
And again, he walks away. He's just like, yeah, that's enough damage.
Yeah.
I know how much illusions do.
He's definitely a cool guy. Calculated stuff. Does hit for like 220. I forget, what is illusion damage?
Well, it's on base damage, and it...
Okay, so 160.
Yeah, and it's a percentage of that, so I don't know if it's 35%.
I was thinking it was 30. Yeah, maybe it's 30, 35.
Yeah.
Who cares? It's not a lot.
Does it anyway. So we've got pretty good spread of the map right now. Patzel, is he going to use this Aegis for good, for ending the game? Is this his overall plan, is to push in, to just tank up the tower with his Heart of Tarask and kill off the tier 2 any risk because he has an Aegis? That's kind of my mindset to it, but of course he's up against the rank 2 swap, the call. The song is still kind of a wild card. Smash has been using it a lot of different ways this game, and I got to commend him for that. But Smash has picked up a Heart of his own, and man, it is going to be a battle of the Titans for sure.
Yeah, now we're starting to get some of those like proper agility items up on Smash. I mean, I guess he already had them because Heart's his newest, but the Diffusal Blade, the Manta style, and like then if we see that Butterfly, like get rid of this bottle, get the Butterfly Smash, is, you know, he's 6-slotted right then, and things start to get a little bit scarier, but I don't know, especially since Patzel went for the Refresher, which is definitely, you know, it's somewhat common. It could still hurt a lot. It'll keep like Venge and Zeus kind of out of the team fights. Zeus is going to be like permanently Yule Sceptered and forcing away from these illusions for what? How long do they last? Like 7 seconds? Yeah, so 14 seconds of just running away from Spectres.
Well, we could just use Yule the illusion if he's not close to his teammates.
Yeah, that's true. Could do that on the first one.
But either way, yeah, it's just I kind of feel like Patzel shouldn't have taken this Aegis. Like, obviously, he wants to have that life insurance, but at the same time, his 6th slot is pretty important, and he needs to get an offensive item. I like Diffusal 2, Butterfly is fine as well, and right now he's just kind of sitting here farming, rocking the 4K. He could have a very significant item advantage because of the fact that he has a 3K net worth advantage. But he's not using that gold, and therefore he's actually fighting it out with Van. This guy's got a heart! Van! I guess it's a distraction ploy, but that doesn't work. Top lane.
Yep, now we're going to go back to the top lane. Stinger's in some trouble, has picked up a Ghost Scepter, but not helping him through the fire. He will swap out, still with Napalm on, cannot turn. Patzel's there, actually Beyond finds the kill on that one, so both supports are down. Skywrath and Venge reunited in the afterlife.
And he goes in again. He wants to force this Aegis, I guess, but although he's succeeded popping BKBs before, now he's completely out of mana. Beyond's in pursuit. He's got the Axe call, but they're not grouping. They're not clumping up to be ready to call. They're playing around with illusions in the back, and Patzel, he probably needs to back off and regen.
Yeah, Beyond's probably like team. And while I feel like his team still maybe made the better call, or I don't know, lack of communication, Beyond was going in hard for that. Everyone else is able to escape, though.
Yeah, he keeps on seeing the movement of Van as a misplay, and he wants to capitalize on it. He wants to say, okay, you're out of mana completely. Let's slow you, let's kill you. But the rest of Void Boys are realizing there's an Axe, there's a Naga, and they won't let you do that without going through them. So in this case, yeah, I definitely think Void Boys should have retreated, and Beyond, although it's tempting, probably overstepped.
This could be big. This was a smoke for 3 of these heroes. They're going to find out Patzel. Yes, he does still have Aegis. It's going to take a lot to kill him. They'll finally duck him down. It's off cooldown again, but will Ifrit survive to use it, forcing away with the BKB? Now that Scary Spectre is back. BKB TP out for Ifrit. And 4 heroes for Void Boys are there. Vaughn has fallen. Mistcow able to run away, and able to TP out there was the Axe.
Yeah, BOTs is technically on cooldown here, but I doubt that it's going to be an issue for Smash, as long as he doesn't hammer his Songless Siren Key immediately, and actually Spirit Breaker doesn't even charge through. So it's key to note that that Aegis that was just taken care of by Spectre, that had only 20 seconds left on it when they actually got the kill. It was absolutely a worthless kill, and it cost them the Storm's life and a BKB charge. Like, obviously, you go for that smoke play, you hope that you're not finding the Aegis person, but they could have waited 20 seconds. And in doing so, although they risk facing the Viper, they make sure that, that second life is not available.
And Viper, trying to get some more damage out here, goes for a Maelstrom.
Yeah.
They
I mean,
probably
it's hard,
turned it
it's a
into the
hard life for
Mjolnir.
a late game Viper. I've
Yeah.
seen so many Vipers try to find the ideal item build to really actually do damage, and because this hero just naturally doesn't scale well to the late game, it's actually hard to do. So Mjolnir's not too bad. Maybe see crit coming out. Not too sure what else. Butterfly's fine.
Yeah, I don't know. Attack speed is going to help out, definitely. The shield, if he does finish the whole Mjolnir, which I'm sure he will try, will be nice to put on himself or the Spectre, those hard-to-kill targets. Really, whoever's getting focused. We'll see what he decides to go off of that. I don't know if we pointed out the Sheep Stick coming up yet for Vaughn, but now Sheep Lincoln's Bloodstone, so Vaughn progressing very nicely. Third in net worth. Second is also his teammate. That's going to be Smash at 26,000 gold, and 29,000 there on the Spectre. So number one there. And what exactly is going on here? There was a sleep. I think there was a haunt as well. The refresher orb has still not been used, but can be if there's going to be another fight. So Patzel can maybe put that to use. But nothing really happens up there. A couple ultimates used. Everyone gets out safely, though.
Certainly. So in this position, they're just radiating, trying to force them back slowly, but they need something more direct. Van goes in deep. Again, he goes for the TP play, and that takes him out of the picture for only like 10 seconds. Cost him a...
Oh, get wrecked, Illusion. That's
thought
pretty
it was
big.
real.
Yeah, they used 2 ultimates on that. Obviously,
Well,
Nether
one
Strike.
of them is a 20 seconds.
Yeah, okay. I was getting there, Blaze. Nether Strike doesn't matter, but that's still a minute for Flaming Lasso.
Finding out the Venge, but he gets the Yules,
Oh.
and it's nice call.
It's a big call swap as well. Going in. Ifrit, though, is going to fall. He's not able to stay alive through all that damage, even with the extra armor from that call. And now look at Patzel going godlike with the double kill. The Refresher is now here. Where's the other Haunt going out? Finally, the Spirit Breaker is down, but Smash cannot win this man fight. Thankfully, Song of the Siren is up once more. Yeah, there's still Haunt illusions there. He'll take it. He gets a little bit closer as the sleep ran off that illusion, or himself rather. He's able to take the illusion. He moves in now onto Vaughn and Ifrit. Beyond is still their truck, and this is what Beyond wanted to happen last time when he was the only man in, and he still might go the furthest. Maybe he pays the price for it. Ifrit, though, so slow. He's got poison on him. He's got black stuff at his feet. He is barely moving, and he falls. 38-26. And there was a buyback actually on the
back
Axe.
in it, though, has the Hex too. Beyond is certainly dead, and only Patzel's illusions will really do anything in return. So that's a pretty tough fight to swallow from either side. As far as buybacks go, the Axe did expend his earlier, so that's a key thing. And Patzel gets caught, but can they actually get him without the real Smash? It looks like that's a no. And it just goes to show that as more people buy hearts, as I think we're going to see at least for this game, and the fights last longer.
God, they're going to be forever.
It's all about who can actually deal damage. And although Naga's damage isn't terrible, she has to keep her illusions in play and for that to be the case. And so far, I feel like Spirit Breaker, the Radiants are managing that well. And it's really difficult for Smash. He needs these illusions to stay in the fight. And Thunder God's Wrath just scouting things out once again. But yeah, we saw Patzel and we saw Beyond. They stayed with tons of focus on them. They were caught in the Berserker's Call. They were jumped on by Storm. A lot of hate sent their way, but they just kept on kicking through it. And I'm not sure the answer. Maybe Smash gets an MKB to deal with the Butterfly. Possible plural on that, as maybe Viper will pick one up. But just for now, Smash picks up one of his own.
Yep, Naga got that Butterfly. Roche is back up, by the way. Axe was down for 18 seconds with that longer cooldown because he had a die back there. But we saw it took them a while to kill Roshan the last time. I don't know. I mean, they're around the pit. Maybe just trying to defend it, thinking not today might have been going for it. Just farming up, backing up the Spectre here. Spectre is, front and center here in the lane, and not today's got to expect this. I mean, no one else on the map. Just now, Viper appears up top. Actually, they don't even see that. But Beyond did TP back up top as the Viper. As soon as he starts farming, not today, we'll get a little bit more information there. And actually...
Okay, easy pick on
man.
the bench. I mean, the Death Timer is decent here at level 16. She also
It was a
buys
brand new ward, too.
4 staff. Yeah, just very recently placed. Mostly for the Roche, but In this case, they get a freebie on top of it. Now, most people won't be farming that far away from base, but they get that, and I think they will go for Roshan based on that. Song of the Siren, of course, is available, but if he actually gets to get in and use it is a completely different question. But they don't go for Rosh, they go for top lane. Beyond gets hexed up, but Vaughn is low on mana.
Will he even have time to use the mech? He does. Mechs and BKBs. Well, if it was already 5-second charge, why the hell not? But not able to survive even still. Tier 2 tower will fall, and as that is going on, Void Boys is not going to be willing to try for any Rosh plays.
And you'll note that right there, the damage was actually coming from the Naga Siren. 2,900 damage from the Naga. Now that she has the Diffusal 2, the Manta Butterfly Radiance, her illusions do good damage, she does good damage, and that added up very quickly onto the Viper. So we're finally finding that point where the Naga is really that carry they've been looking for, and it's just a question of whether or not she can compete with the Spectre.
They've also got a Veil of Discord coming out on the Zeus just recently, so if he gets any good uses of that, things could hurt, and they're going to go in. I mean, actually with Storm and Naga Siren, not today killing Rosh, actually not taking all that long. I mean, there's just 2 of them in the pit right now, and it's going okay. Faster than Void Boys, but Void Boys is coming in to contest this. Vaughn and Ifrit going to jump right out of the pit. They'll find Mercy and Fly. And wow, they will go down. Vaughn does fall, but Void Boy's losing 2 right there. Now Smash coming in with the saves, going to put everyone to sleep, going to end the fun.
But that's Roche for Void Boys in that case. Like, they don't pop the refresher, which is huge. Patzel holds on to that, and then they get the Roche. Wait. Look at today's position, though. They've got 3 people waiting.
Yeah, there's some very low members of Void Boys, namely Spirit Breaker and the Skywrath. And the ultimate goes out. That's more information coming in from that Zeus.
The vision is right here, so when they cross that threshold, that's going to be when they know that something's going to happen. Ifrit's there, Patzel, is he going to flinch?
To separate a little bit more so they don't both get caught. As long as, I mean, if Patzel gets caught, Fly still has the Nether Strike, or actually he'll just charge straight out, this time going on. No, can't turn in time because it was running straight away. That's a big AoE bash there from Fly. Is he going to go down, though? He's still trying to run. He falls finally to Smash. I think it's just Radiance damage there. 2 people down for Void Boys. Smash alone, surrounded, not quite alone, as Vaughn is flying, and actually everyone is here. It's now Patzel who is properly alone. The last one up. Still going to be a while before they bring him down. Axe will quicken it as he chops him up with that blade. And Omega Pwn are also going to fall, and that's just the power of a Storm Spirit right there. Zipping and zapping.
And it's a critical fight. I mean, that puts Void Boys purely on the defensive. They're going to be out the Aegis. Thank goodness it's not Cheese, because that would be giving a lot to the Storm Spirit if there was Cheese on top. But at least for now, it is going to be the Aegis going that way. Ifrit, watch your health. 160 HP. He will pick up the Aegis for himself. And so that's surprising, since Van is just... The Storm Spirit is a hero that really benefits from the second life in the fight. But in this case, he's pretty much looking at his 6th item slot as a Demon Edge. So Monkey King bar for him most likely, since he is up against the evasion. And yeah, we got to look at the Spectre and say, where is she going for her 7th item slot? She is not buying back, so she should be able to farm this pretty quickly. And I still think it's Diffusal too. You put the Refresher Orb in your stash, and you use the Diffusal when you're actually haunting, and switch it out. You can also even take off the BOTs and get it either like a Daedalus, Delusions can crit, or something of that nature. Like, you want damage coming out from your haunt ×2. So I feel like she could actually go 8 item slots here, with the BOTs and the refreshers being her items she drops.
Yeah. I would not want to be playing Spectre. I don't want to have to manage 8 items, as I can barely manage 6. Nice. Although, Butterfly's got an active now. Technically, Radiance does. Heart, though, I guess, there you go. They're not doing anything with the Heart. Limiting that micro. Speaking of Heart, what do you say? We're going to say like 4 this game? How many we got now? We're up to 4.
4,
oh
yeah. That's what I expected. So.
Please. Hyperbolic Time Chamber while I was gone. Boots of Travel as well, some more mobility for the Storm Spirit.
So, looking at the net worth right now, we've actually just gone from an even game to something drastically in favor of NoT today. They've got 8,000 going their way, and they have brought the experience disadvantage down to nearly 0. But the question is, who's really doing something with that gold? I feel like Axe is about at his critical mass. Like, you can go AC BOTs here. That's cool. But other than that, maybe we could see some Diffusal Blades so they could kill off the illusions. But other than that, like, unless Stinger starts really getting some gold, even more so than we've already seen, I don't see not today's item progression going much further. I kind of feel like they're about to hit that cap when Monkey King Bar and buybacks are available for Storm.
Stinger's had a fun game. 1 and 13. Or wait, yeah, 1 and 13. I get confused now on how if it's kill death assist or kill assist death because
Is it different in CS:GO?
Valve couldn't remain consistent between their two titles. But yeah, it is. It's the other way around in CS.
Is it kill assist death?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, because I was looking at that and I'm like, oh, that number's oh.
And you generally just report KD in CS because assists, I mean, I don't know.
Yeah,
Shows involvement
true.
a little bit, but doesn't really matter.
There's a defusal coming out. Does not upgrade it just yet, but it is his stash item. He's only going to use this when he's haunting from his fountain, and it does do a considerable amount of damage. People think I'm exaggerating it, but when you get that second upgrade for it, it has 35 agi, which is more than your butterfly, and it actually, of course, gets the diffusal feedback for each of them. So 25 physical damage per hit, which is solid. The Refresh Orb, though, is not just going to be in the hands of the Spectre. Now Smash goes for his 7th item slot, and Refresher can be incredible on this.
Uh-oh, catching Ifrit here, but there's a nice swap out. That's always the problem. Playing Venge up against the Batrider, they still haven't been able to bring Ifrit down. He's only half HP Fly, though, going, and Stinger maybe going to take that 14th. He's still burning down, and he was in Ghost Scepter form, so taking more damage. So he falls. Now Ifrit, the Refresher, I saw it go off. Do we have the mana for the haunt? They are still chasing down. That's going to pop that Aegis. Let's not forget it was on the Axe. Are they going to be able to kill him again? Vaughn is still playing games here with these TPs back and forth, trying to land the big damage there.
Yeah, and the question is, where do they go from here? They got some great kills, and they pop the Refresher Orb, but if they retreat, I would actually say that the Refresher Orb cooldown is a bigger loss than the lives of Zeus and Venge. Like, that's going to delay the game quite a bit for Patsoul. If they want to play it even longer, that's fine, but this is getting dicey now. The Spectre is just going to pick up the Diffusal Blade, drop the Refresher on the ground. It's pretty much useless without the active, and just take some good experience for his teammates. Let's look at the levels. We've got 25 on 3 heroes, almost 4. No, just hit
there
4.
it is. Boom.
But we do have some people down a little bit there, 20 or below for Zeus, Skywrath, and Venge. Lost lovers seem to have lost some experience, but
Poor guys.
Venge is as high as she needs to be, though. The swap, you have to assume that the swap is going to be coming in from the fact that she is now level 16 plus. She has 1200 range in the swap. I almost feel like you have to Flaming Last of the Venge unless you have a Refresher on the Batrider too. He does pop the link with the Van, though, and they've got lots of disables to throw at him.
What did he even pop that with? Or maybe, oh, it was Charge of Darkness, I think, that popped it. Yeah, it was.
Probably. Yeah,
because neither the Force nor the Yules went on cooldown for Mercy, please. But even still, it's not enough to bring down Vaughn.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. If they had Charge, I believe they would have had enough disables. It's a 2.4-second stun.
Yeah, that's a good point.
But they didn't, like you said, they didn't use the Yules or the Force to do it because they wanted it to be so quick. But now we see the Charge in. This could be big. Beyond popping the BKB, 3 popped, and Ifrit's got a perfect. No, he's already used the taunt, so they will song away.
Yeah, he jumped in and got it on the Beyond's BKB and then chopped him down. Or actually, I believe Smash got that kill. But fight going to continue. Now Vaughn is going to show up. Fly is in some trouble. That's who Smash is going to focus, actually, with all the illusions. Might want to spread him out more, and now finally does. Putting it back over to help assist Vaughn. Patsoul, though, is going to bring down that support, but will fall. Ifrit's like, you know what? I got this kill secured, bringing in that Calling Blade, and Void Boys have lost 3. Buyback only on the Spectre. 60 seconds on Haunt. Where's the Refresher? 50 seconds on that. And that tier 3 tower was already down before NoT Today got here. I'm guessing courtesy of Smash's Naga. Now we could be in danger of Void Boys actually losing some racks right here, but we'll see how well they can defend 3v4.
Yeah, Naga actually, Smash just popped Refresher Orb and put it back on the Courier. If he had mana, that would mean something because he gets the song quicker and he got to throw out the Mirror Illusions immediately. But instead, he's sitting so low on mana that it seems that is just another wasted Refresher this game. But still, I'm really surprised Void Boys tried to take that fight without the lasso. Very hard to do, but it's not like they had much of a choice. Beyond was under fire, and he wasn't going to be able to get out of that BKB or not. So they try to save their Private Ryan, and instead, they get destroyed. Now look at the Naga Illusions. Go to work.
Ifrit jumping straight in. Goodbye, Skywrath. 80 seconds down. No chance of coming back as the mid-racks falls. And let's see if they can get any more. They got to clear out some of these econ buildings. Maybe those effigies. No, they'll just move top and take those real targets down. Working on a tier 3 tower there. It's, okay, there's the glyph. That'll give time for both Batrider and Spirit Breaker to respawn, but the tier 3 tower is going to fall, and the racks are probably going to fall behind it. Haunt is finally back up. Let's see what they can do. There's a preemptive BKBs to get away from that sleep. They will grab Vaughn, keeping him up. But the sleep is enough. It's going to last longer than the BKBs now, and everyone is able to go ahead and blink, force, zap out. Tier 3 falls. He's going back in to clean up the wrecks, and beautifully done. He has so much mana right now. He gets away from that, and they're still going to try to give chase. They know where he's going. The black trail will lead the way.
It certainly will, but that was such a risky play. Now they're going to go in, realitying forward. They just can't smoke out of that. Misko's down for sure, but can they get the flame break? Just the Yules to break it. Such a greedy play from him.
Nice swap. Is that going to get Vaughn out? I think it actually is going to. Mercy Please can still try to chase him down, but with this Bloodstone, so much mana coming back so quickly, even a decent amount of HP regenning, so he's out. Tier 2 tower is still there. Patsol picks up the double as he brings down Stinger with some of those illusions, but their base a little bit gutted. Mid and the econ buildings cleaned out. Top, they lost that Rax thanks to Vaughn's crazy behavior, testicular fortitude.
I mean, that was so risky. That was such a greedy move, and if they had seen it coming, he wouldn't even have got the racks. He would have been disabled so hard, but it was so ballsy and so unpredictable that it just worked. It's so crazy, it just worked, and they're able to disengage. Nice swap from the bench. He'll be back up shortly, and the racks is a big deal right now. 3 racks down. Void Boys pretty much fully on the defensive right now. Roche will be respawning in just under a minute, and that's probably when they actually start moving out further in across the map, because Aegis and Cheese is something that's too critical at this time. There's a lot of games that go hyper late, and you're like, it's barely worth the item slot, but this is still a very critical resource for both sides, the Aegis and the Cheese, for a lot of heroes. Yeah. I mean, even if Zeus gets a Cheese, for example, he doesn't have to worry about all the damage that we've been seeing from these illusions.
Yeah, and you pretty much called it earlier. Like, this is going to tick down to when this Aegis and Cheese become very important. You know, the third Roche, when I think we said that at like 25 minutes, and there hadn't been one Roche. And now, what, 40 minutes later, we finally see this third one respawning. And even still, like, no team can do Roche incredibly quick. There's an MKB now there for Vaughn, so that'll help a little bit. Obviously, the butterflies for both of the agility cores helps a little bit with the damage, but still, not the fastest Roshan game.
Okay. There is one thing that I want to talk about real quick. It's not been seen too much in Western Dota in general, and definitely not in North American Dota, but I want to mention the possibility. It's something that a couple of the best Naga players in Southeastern Asia do, is when they're down to just where the buildings matter more than anything else, they actually use the Song of the Siren as a diversion type thing. Essentially, they pop their Manta, they pop their Mirror Image, they send those at the racks, and they get maybe a Blink Dagger or just a lot of movement speed to jump past and to lock those people out. They're caught inside the Song of the Siren if they're not BKB'd, and the illusions will be hitting the buildings. The only trick is you have to catch the heroes when they're away from the buildings, because you can't make the buildings invulnerable too. But if that works, it certainly works. At least waste a Glyph of Fortification. Either way, for now, that's not going to be the play. The play is get that easy Roshan, as Void Boys are, like I said, purely on the defensive, and we've got Cheese in the hands of the Vengeful Spirit and Aegis up for the Axe.
Yep, so giving it to the Axe once more. Here, though, they're going to find Smash in the mid lane. They're going to be pulling back. Can they stop him from casting? He's silenced up with the Mirror Image, or the Manta that time going out, of course. So he's able to get off that sleep, and he's just going to go ahead and TP out. Meanwhile, Patsol trying to bring down Mistco. He's going to be able to escape.
He's going to BOT back in with Song available. He just refreshed
he refreshes in base. They're charging onto Mistco right now. There's a swap. Fly keeping him guessing. Now the BKB going to be wasted because of that call. He's run a long way as Ifrit just keeps on moving.
He's on the tier 4s.
Patsol trying to chase, but look at this. Top racks cleaned out. Tier 4s now are the target here for Smash. That's starting to pull people back. The charge coming back in the other way. Meanwhile, Patsol is killing some people. How's he doing over there? His illusions almost get Mistco, but they've pulled back. They're now trying to chase Smash out of their base.
The diversion lets them get the dieback kill on Spectre. Spectre is without a buyback for 1 minute and 20 seconds, just about his death timer.
Vaughn on
and
the bottom
if they can't
racks.
break Smash, they can't win the game. Fly calls GG, and in 68 minutes, not today, take it.
Well, there you have it. Getting pretty much just juked there in the end. That was really nice play, especially that refresher back in the base from Smash on that Naga Siren, and then, I don't know, going right for the tier 4s. Meanwhile, Patzel was kind of pulled off, trying to bit off more than he could chew, I think, out there on his own.
Yeah, it was a difficult position for Void Boys, and I gotta say that I feel their tempo broke around the time that Patzel picked up his refresher orb.
Yeah.
Again, I think the item is incredible for Spectre, and you'd be out of your mind not to pick it up once your inventory is otherwise completely filled out. It's very powerful, but the time that he got it, all he had was Radiance and Manta and Heart. So his illusion survived, and you can double up the time to 14 seconds, but it just didn't do enough, as we could see. So maybe if he went for one more offensive item, then the refresher orb, that could have been the tempo breaker, but either way, not today. They executed so well. Even Van, like, he had my heart pumping. I was afraid he was just throwing the game away.
Yeah, he was
but
crazy.
He was so crazy. It just worked, and it was to a tactical degree. Really, really excellent execution from Van, from Smash, with those songs, every one of them being really relevant to the game. And as a whole, not today. They really deserved this win, but it's not over yet. We've got game 2 coming up. We'll see who's going to be casting that very shortly. Obviously, you've got some CSGO to attend to, but we'll
Yeah,
see if we can get the
I've got
guys.
that info, by the way.
Okay.
Wait, maybe I don't.
Yeah,
Messages
that's what
from
I'm gonna
Zyori
do
come
things,
in.
So it will be either the BTS guys, if they have everything situated with their internet, or it will be me ghetto casting it in the worst case scenario.
casting,
So
Robot
either
Blaze.
way, the game will be here, but we may indeed not. So thank you guys so much for tuning in. If you enjoyed the cast, you can hit us up on our Twitters. This obviously main caster, play-by-play man here is at Heliumbrella. Great cast, man. And of course, I am at Blaze Casting. So if you have some feedback, hit us up. If you enjoyed it, go ahead and follow. And if not, send us some hate mail. I don't care.
If you hated it, keep your mouth shut.
Fair enough, fair enough. But not today. Taking it so far, and I can't wait to see what they do next.
Yeah, we'll be back in just a bit, guys. Stick around.